Sifting through the rubble of my misspent life. No home on my own.
How is it for you guys to premiere your first album in a tour here in Brazil? Because both of you made a live in our Facebook page, and you saw the proportion of the people that like your music. But how was it in the first show, for instance, to see the public, to feel it?
It's horrible. Not kidding. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's a very strange experience to be writing songs with your very good friend and put them out in the world kind of modestly and with little fanfare but great hope that it would find its way to people, and then you come down to Brazil and all the audience is singing all the songs. It's really thrilling. I was kind of underestimating how I didn't know what it would be like. I'd heard Brazilian fans were great. I knew there was a lot of interest in us down here, but just meeting that energy or having that energy meet us in those shows was really exciting.
The same for you, right, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome.
And a while back, you made a list to our website, about indie folk musics that inspire you guys. So I wanted to know, what is your relation with indie folk music? How did you get to know it? And did you guys think about the style that you were going to have in your musics, to write the musics, or was it something more natural, that kind of came up?
Well, I think the thing is, like labels, they're more important for your job than for our job. You know what I mean? Because you have to describe music.
Yes.
So you have to tell people, well, if you like this, you'll like that. If you like, as artists, as musicians, you're just a human being, and you pick up an instrument and you like this sound or that sound, and later you think, I have to market it. Okay, it's indie folk or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to make music that comes organically to us.
I go through the same thing with movies I made. I've written, directed 2 movies, and I find, they want you to synthesize it, give a log line, or say it's a romantic comedy, or when I think my movies are all sorts of different things, I find it hard to describe, and I think that's a virtue of something when you kind of don't know how to describe it. That said, for our songwriting, sometimes I would have read an article, or Ben would be reading about something, and he'd say, oh, isn't this fascinating? We'd start talking, maybe a song would emerge, a poem or a prayer I had read or something. Or I would say, I really like the way this song goes from this to this or something, and I would say, can we, let's, and then Ben would just start playing around, and then it would morph, and then the next thing we know, we have a song that doesn't resemble any other song, but it started from an idea of I want just the taste of that, whatever, because it feels new and different to me. So that's where you stand on the shoulders of other people without outright plagiarism.
More of this, bless my life with more of this, more of this, more of this.
So what about your solo career, Ben? You have a great story as a solo musician, and recently you premiered a new single, right, called Dinner with Chris Stein. Does that
I love hearing a Brazilian person say Chris Stein.
Oh, sorry.
That's cool.
So does that mean we can expect, a new solo album?
No. When I make an album, I have to feel I have something, urgency to make it. At the moment, I felt an urgency to make a song, so I made it. But I don't think nowadays you don't have to do an album all the time. You can do 1 song, 2 songs, 3 songs, and just let it be. Share it with the fans in different ways. And that song particularly, it was within a context of sharing it on this cryptocurrency site, Steemit. So the song is about technology and art, and I wanted to premiere it on this website that's merging of technology and art. So it's not necessarily an album on the way, but we'll see what happens.
Don't mind me.
What happened?
I tried to put the tea and then it got caught in my mouth. And, but luckily we have it preserved on camera, so you'll be able to watch it.
So, what about you, Josh? You're going to be in the new NBC's TV show called Rise, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to know, how do you reconcile your career as an actor and now as a singer and musician, obviously?
Well, it's new, this kind of having to navigate between having a band and writing all these songs and being an actor. Before, I was just trying to navigate being an actor with being a writer and a director, and all of which I'm still doing. So it's fun. I think I have kind of 5 careers, and that's the way I like it, to quote Ben Lee.
Now we're standing at the doorstep of truth.
basically, I was in New York for 4.5 months, so we couldn't tour to support the record, but Ben came out a couple times. We wrote, we did some shows, we did our record release show there. So whenever we have windows where things line up, we were both free in January, that's why we were able to come to Brazil. So it's just a matter of saying yes to what feels like it will work.
And this album of yours, guys, has a cover, right? The early in the morning. I'm sorry, and which was originally sung by Peter, Paul, and Mary back in the '60s.
Yeah.
What was your idea? Because you have an album with original songs from yourselves, and among all of it, you have a cover. Wow.
His idea.
Oh,
Good idea.
It was. I just told Ben how much I like that song. It's only a 90-second song. I mean, it's really quick. But
Pretty short commitment.
It has so much energy and drive, and it also, it kind of lined up with, I think it's a very interesting thing, like in the 60s, a lot of popular folk singers could sing almost like spiritual songs or songs that said the Lord, the Lord help me please, and no one thought anything of it. No one thought, oh, they're a Christian band. They were just, singing. And there's something, my mom loves Peter, Paul, and Mary, and I think I saw them twice when I was growing up, so I have affection for them.
Because she loves Christian music.
She loves Christian music. No, I loved seeing them. I have very fond memories of seeing them. And I think it was kind of an ode to my folk roots, and also, there was just something fun about just winking at another artist, and the big joke we had was that our album needed a little edge, so we decided to do a Peter, Paul, and Mary cover because they're the least edgy band you could ever imagine. But I still love to hear their music.
Now that we brought it up, your musics, your songs, they have a lot of, I don't know, like a spirituality theme.
Yeah.
You guys seem to use that a lot in your musics. Do you guys consider yourselves as religious people? You have that, or was it something that just popped up in the middle of the music?
I don't think either of us consider ourselves religious, because that would imply some orthodoxy to some particular tenet. I think we're both very interested in religion, and we're interested in ideas. If you're interested in truth, how can you ignore this conversation for thousands of years in different cultures who have said, what do you think the meaning is? What do you think the meaning? It's beautiful, right? So we love that, and we love to share thoughts and ideas about it. So but it's like, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Like, to be spiritual, I think, is just to think, to have a mind, and to use it, to think. That is spirituality to me.
I also think to me, it's also about kind of honoring the unseen. And by the unseen, I mean how our words affect people, and love, and our emotional states. I mean, these things aren't scientifically quantifiable, but they're even an atheist would say, well, I believe in love, I believe in kindness, I believe in I always think people are actually talking about the same stuff. It's just the words trip us up. When I say God, I'm almost certain that doesn't mean to me what it might mean to you. It's a different experience. I have no interest in getting you to believe in my idea of what that is. That's where wars start, and I'm not interested in that.
And even like a Satanist and a religious, Hindu, they might be talking about the same idea.
Yeah.
With a different language and different characters and but the feeling they're talking about might be the same, So it's interesting.
Like an atheist says there's no being, there's no hyper being, there's no big being that's doing things and punishing us. Buddhists say the same thing. The non-dualist kind of Hindu idea is essentially atheistic, that there's no being. This is going down the rabbit hole with all this stuff, but a lot of these things start to overlap if you really start to look at them.
It's like be like the being, right?
Yeah.
So to wrap it up, do you guys intend to continue with this project? What are your plans for 2018? As a duo and also individually, Ben, you with your solo music, and you, Josh, as an actor.
Yeah, I produced a record for Jill Sopiel that's coming out in a few months that I'm really proud of and really like. And I wrote a musical with Tom Robbins called Beers for Beer that we're making an album of. And lots of other things, but they're the things I'm thinking of at the top of my head. And for Radnor and Lee, it's interesting. Josh is on this new show that's obviously it's great. It's such a great opportunity for him too, but it's very like that's the kind of job where you're working for production, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not the freedom of going like, hey, let's just go. You know, it's not like a normal band in that way. So, but I think within the structure of that, we're just going to carve out little periods where we can work kind of in a focused way on the band.
Yeah, it feels, especially something about being in Brazil and seeing the response of the Brazilian audiences. Every time we do something different, like we wrote a song, when we wrote 2 songs, and then we played a show, and then we put out an album. Every step along the way has made it feel more real somehow. Like, and our commitment to it keeps deepening. So after touring Brazil and playing all these shows, it feels like, wow, we're a proper band. This isn't a side project. Like, we really care about this, and there seems to be not just enthusiasm from us, but people who are hearing the music. So I feel like songwriting is so under my skin at this point that I want to keep doing it. I really want to keep doing it with Ben. So we're just going to keep doing it, and we'll make a record, we'll put it out, we'll support it as much as we can. I'm still an actor. I still like it, and still want to direct more movies, which I have kind of ready to go. I had a play that was produced this summer, first original play. So yeah, I just like telling stories, and I like reflecting on things, and I like sharing things, and I'm going to keep doing that in whatever form it takes.
Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Folk the World.
Yeah, thank you.
You and I are the yang and yin.
I really wanna hate you, but my case is thin.
My brain wants out, but my heart's now in your hands.
So maybe we should just